Close that blind a little bit. Close. Close some more, but I can't read my shirt. There's too much light here. Yeah. Okay. Shabbat shalom, Miss Raw One Love. Shabbat shalom, sister. Like that down so I can see like that dust. Check order. Check order. That's the check order. This book. Wipe the eye up there, the mic. Shalom, shalom, Shakun 85. Brother Rastar here. Yeah, shalom, brother. Shabbat shalom, brother and sister today. Oh, yeah, for sure, brother. Yeah. Oh, Shabbat shalom, everybody. Praise the mighty Yah. Absolutely. It's starting in a few minutes. This light. Yep, this one. Shalom, 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 brothers and sisters all over the world. I'm Yahudah ben Israel. I'm a Hebrew servant of the Most High Yahweh. And I want to give all honor, glory, worship, and praise to Yahweh by saying hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Now, today's topic, I'm going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that we don't need number one book. So all these religious books on the earth that people that wrote, that man that wrote and philosophized and used their own opinion and what they think and how they was raised as a lie. I'm going to prove today that we only need one book without a shadow of a doubt. So I'm going to go and get off into this lesson. And I want to start off in the book of Exodus, the 17. Exodus 17 and 14.
Exodus chapter 17, verse 14. Yeah. And Yahweh said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book.
Hold it. You will never, ever in the world see another book that speaks like this. Yahweh told Moses to write it in a book. That's law. Ain't no changing that. Ain't no stopping that. It ain't no such thing as another book. Read it. Start over again.
And Yahweh said unto Moses,
Yahweh said it to Moses. This wasn't nobody talking but the Most High Yah. Read.
Write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
That's right. Well, that's all I want. And it said rehearse. That means go over, over, and over. Rehearse. Practice make perfect. So when you keep studying and reading the same thing over and over, it's going to stick. It's going to stay in your brain. It ain't going to leave your brain. Okay, go to Exodus 24:7. And you don't need no another book. I don't care what they talking about. 24:7.
Exodus chapter 24, verse 7. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people, and they said, all that Yahweh has said will we do.
Okay, the book of the covenant. Now, what other book has the law of the covenant in it? Name me a book other than the Old Testament, the Torah, and Tanakh that has the covenant in it. Ain't no other book got the covenant in it. So what you need it for? Okay, go to Exodus 32. and 30.
Exodus chapter 32, verse 30. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, ye have sinned a great sin, and now I will go up unto Yahweh. Peradventure I shall make an atonement for your sin. And Moses returned unto Yahweh.
That not this book, read.
And said, this people have sinned a great sin, and have made them deities of gold. Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of thy book which thou hast written.
Which Yahweh had written. It's a book out there that Yahweh written. See, we all in the book. Everything is in the book. Read.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, whosoever have sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book.
Out of what book? What that word is?
Him will I blot out of my book.
My book. Yahweh say that's my book. Out of his book. Read.
Therefore now go, lead the people unto the place of which I have spoken unto thee. Behold, my angel shall go before thee. Nevertheless, in the day when I visit, I will visit their sin upon them. And Yahweh plagued the people because they made the calf, which...
Go, that's already that. I want to deal with that book. Okay, go to Numbers 21. Numbers 21:14.
Numbers chapter 21, verse 14. Wherefore it is said in the book of the wars of Yahweh, what he did in the Red Sea and in the brooks of Arnon.
See, it said in the book of Yahweh, the wars of, the book of the wars of Yahweh, right? It talks about his wars in the book. Okay, Deuteronomy 17. 18. Yeah, start 18, bro.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 18. And it shall be when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book out of that which is before the priests the Levites, and it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life.
All the days of his life in this book.
That he may learn to fear Yahweh as Elohim.
That's how you learn to fear Yahweh Elohim, by reading his book, not nobody else's book. You read Yahweh's book.
To keep all the words of this law and these statutes.
That's how you find out to keep all the laws and statutes in Yahweh. No other book, not the New Testament, not the Quran, not the Hadith, not no religious book that somebody else wrote and put on the market. No, you don't need them books. Just read.
To do them.
To do them, not to talk about them and be. You got to be about them and do them. Read.
That his heart be not lifted up above his brethren.
And this is going to teach you how to teach your brothers and sisters. When you read Yahweh's book, you're going to learn how to treat your brothers and sisters.
And that he turn not aside from the commandment.
And then you're going to learn not to turn aside of the commandment, because the Christians in the Messiah said you ain't got to keep the commandments no more. Why? Because they got it out of another book. They didn't get it out the Old Testament. They got it out of another book that some man wrote. Read.
To the right hand.
You go to the right hand.
Or to the left.
Or to the left.
to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Israel.
Okay, now go to Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28, start at the 58th verse. Yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 58. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book,
In what book?
if thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book,
Read.
that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, Yahweh thy Elohim.
That's how you're going to learn how to fear his name, by reading this book.
Then Yahweh will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sicknesses, and of long continuance.
This was going to happen to you when you listen and understand and read another book. When you read this book, you ain't going to get these curses, because you're going to learn what to do and what not to do. The do's and the don'ts. When you read this book, it's going to tell you what to do and what you can't do. Read.
Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt.
When you don't read this book,
which thou wast afraid of.
That's right.
And they shall cleave unto thee.
Never leave thee.
Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law.
Okay, he talking about the stuff that's not written in the book of the law, like AIDS, herpes, syphilis, and a coronavirus. Them not written in the law of this book. Read.
Then will Yahweh bring upon thee
them the diseases he's going to put up on you, the ones that he ain't told you about in this book. Read.
Until thou be destroyed.
Till you die.
And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven from multitude.
Because at one time we was as the stars of heaven in multitude.
Because thou wouldest not obey the voice of Yahweh thy Elohim.
And where is his voice? His voice is only in the Old Testament. Because you didn't obey his voice, you want to run to the New Testament, the Hadith, the Quran, and all them other religious books that these men wrote. You want to listen to what they say, not what Yahweh say. Read.
And it shall come to pass that as Yahweh rejoiced over you to do you good,
just like he wanted to do us good,
and to multiply you, so Yahweh will rejoice over you to destroy you.
He's going to have a ball in killing you because you ain't listening to the Old Testament. Read.
And to bring you to naught.
And bring you to nothing. You ain't going to have nothing.
And he shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people.
Why did he scatter us among all people? It's because we didn't listen to this book. It's because we didn't listen to this book. We wanted to be like the Egyptians. We wanted to be like the Ammonites, the Hamites, the Moabites, and all the other nations. We wanted to be monkey see, monkey do people. So that's the reason why this verse is true. Yahweh said, I will scatter you among the people. That's the reason why we're in the United States. Then when we get to the United States, we listening to their book, which is the New Testament. Read.
From the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other deities.
And then when we came over to the United States, we served a God, which is JC, Hamashiach in the New Testament. Brainwashed, bamboos, and hoodwink. Read.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Now, did Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob know anything about JC? Did Moses, Joshua, and Jeremiah, and Ezekiel know anything about JC? No. Read.
Even wood and stone.
Made out of wood and stone, a cross and a statue.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease.
You ain't going to find no ease in America.
Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest.
You're going to be tired all the time in America.
But Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart.
Scared to death all the time. Police coming, you don't know what's going to happen.
And failing of eyes.
Failing of eyes.
And sorrow of mind.
Man, always depressed and heartache.
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee.
That's right. You don't know when they're going to kill you.
And thou shalt fear day and night.
Scared to death day and night. Going and coming in. You don't know if you're going to make it home or whatever.
And shall have none assurance of thy life.
Ain't no insurance on your life.
And the morning thou shalt say, would Elohim it were even. And at even thou shalt say, would Elohim it were morning. For the fear of thy heart wherewith thou shalt fear. And for the sight of thy eyes which thou shalt see, And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Now he called the United States of America Egypt again, just like Egypt. He naming, he's saying just like Egypt to America.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
You ain't gonna see it no more again once you leave here.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
And that's what they did in the 1600 when we came over here. Was sold for bondmen and bondwomen.
And no man shall buy you.
And did nobody help you. That's right. Okay, go to Deuteronomy 29 and 20.
Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 20.
Oh, let me get it. Make sure. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yahweh will not spare him, but then the anger of Yahweh and his jealousy shall smoke against that man, and and all the curses that are written in this book shall lie upon him, and Yahweh shall blot out his name from under heaven, and Yahweh shall separate him unto evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the law.
In this book,
so that the generation to come of your children that shall rise up after you, and the stranger that shall come from a far land shall say, when they see the plagues of thy land and the sicknesses which Yahweh have laid upon it.
Now, who laid the sickness upon the land? Read that again, because they want to say the coronavirus was made in the lab. It came from this. It came from that. Read. Hold on. Just back up.
So that the generation to come of your children that shall rise up after you, and the stranger that shall come from a far land shall say, when they see the plagues of that land and the sicknesses which Yahweh hath laid upon it.
The sickness that Yahweh did. Yahweh done it. Read.
And that the whole land thereof is brimstone and salt and burning, that is not sown, nor beareth, nor any grass groweth therein, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zeboim, which Yahweh overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. Even all nations shall say, wherefore hath Yahweh done thus unto this land?
Why Yahweh do this to this land?
What meaneth the heat of this great anger?
He do it to the land because of sin, transgression, breaking his laws, not keeping his statutes and judgment, precept and commandment. That's when he do it to this land and any other land. Read.
Then men shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of Yahweh Elohim of their
That's
fathers.
the reason why he did it, because they forsaken the law of the covenant, which is written in this book, no other book. Read.
Which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt.
And we still acted a fool when we came out of the land of Egypt. We've been some hard-headed, dumb, stupid people all our life. Read.
For they went and served other deities.
And we went and served, made a golden calf in the wilderness. Now we serve JC in the New Testament today. Read.
And worship them.
And they people crazy about this man in the New Testament. Read.
Deities whom they knew not.
And we didn't know nothing about JC.
And whom he had not given unto them.
Yahweh didn't give you. He didn't give you JC. You got it from the slave master, plantation owner. That's where you got JC from. Read that verse again. He said, what?
For they went and served other deities.
Went and served the New Testament.
And worshiped them.
And worshiped Paul, Peter, Luke, and John.
Deities whom they knew not.
Who Moses and Abraham didn't know nothing about.
And whom he had not given unto them.
And Yahweh didn't give us the New Testament. Read.
And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against this land.
Kindled against this land.
To bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book.
And to curse this land that was in the book.
And Yahweh rooted them out of their land in anger.
He rooted us out of Jerusalem in anger.
And in wrath. And in great indignation.
That's right, anger.
And cast them into another land.
Went to another land. Out of Jerusalem went to another land. Read.
As it is this day.
As it is right now today. We're still in captivity in America. Boy, there's corn right there. Read.
The secret
hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
The secret things belong unto Yahweh our Elohim.
Everything belongs to Yah.
But those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever.
And the thing that he let you see and understand belonging to us. Because the Almighty ain't going to let you know everything about him. No, he's not.
that we may do all the words of this law.
They want you to do his law. You trying to worry about how far the sun is from the moon, how many planets in the sky, or this, that, and the other. Worry about this law. Don't worry about how many planets in the sky, how far the sun is from the moon, how deep is the sea. All that's irrelevant. That ain't about nothing. The law is what's happening. Cause you know all your timetables, all your algebra and all, man, that don't mean nothing. You ain't keeping no law, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Deuteronomy 30. Let me see, 30 and 10.
Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 10. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy Elohim.
Look, he say, if. You got a choice. If. Read.
To keep his commandments and his statutes which are written in this book of the law.
In this book, not the New Testament, not the Quran, not the Hadith, not no other religious book that a man wrote. And not this book, read.
And if thou turn unto Yahweh thy Elohim with all thine heart.
All your heart, not half of it or some of it, most of all your heart.
And with all thy soul.
With all your soul.
For this commandment which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee.
Ain't none of the commandments hid. They want to make excuses. You can't do it no more. You're a lie. You just don't want to do it. Read.
Neither is it far from. Neither is it far off.
Ain't nothing far off. The law ain't. Read.
It is not in heaven that thou shouldest say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us?
Making all these excuses why they can't keep the commandments. Somebody got to go get them and all that mess. Read.
That we may hear it and do it.
I'm reading it to you today. Read.
Neither is it beyond the sea that thou shouldest say, who shall go over the sea for us?
Who gonna go down in the sea to get the commandment? Because the law ain't in the sea. Read.
And bring it unto us.
And bringing it up, then we can do it. Once you go get it. No, that's a lie. You a hypocrite. Read.
That we may hear it and do it.
Then they make excuse. We're here to do it. If you go in the sea and get the law, if you go up in heaven and get the law, if you go over there and get the law, then we are doing it. Man, you making an excuse to read.
But the word is very nigh unto thee.
It's right here in this book.
In thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it.
You gonna do it. Talk about it in your heart. You gonna do it.
See, I have set before thee this day life and good.
He got life and good for you.
And death and evil.
And death and evil. You got a choice.
And that I command thee this day to love Yahweh thy Elohim.
To love Yahweh thy Elohim.
To walk in his ways.
Because when you love Yahweh thy Elohim, you walk in his ways. What you gonna do when you love him?
And to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments.
You're going to do all this when you love Yahweh. And if you don't do this, you hate Yah. Read.
That thou mayest live and multiply.
Then you're going to live and multiply.
And Yahweh thy Elohim shall bless thee in the land where thou goest to possess
then
it.
You will be blessed.
But if thy heart turn away.
But if you go to the New Testament, the Quran, the Hadith.
So that thou will not hear.
And you ain't listen to the Old Testament.
But shall be drawn away.
Be drawn away. Stop doing what the Old Testament say do.
And worship other deities.
And worship the New Testament and the Quran gods.
And serve them.
And you serve them.
I denounce unto you this day.
Then Yahweh denounce unto you this day.
That ye shall surely perish.
You surely go into hell because you believe in another book. Read.
And that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land.
You ain't going to live no long time believing in another book.
Whether thou passest over Jordan to go to possess it.
That's right.
I call heaven and earth to record this day against you.
Yahweh is using the heaven and the earth to record everything you say, do, or whatever. If you being recorded, you being monitored. So you ain't getting away with nothing. I don't care what you doing. You thought nobody didn't know or didn't see you. Man didn't know and see you, but Yahweh know and see it all. Read.
That I have set before you life and death.
Life and death.
Blessing and cursing.
What verse you at?
19.
Okay.
Therefore choose life.
Choose life means choose the Old Testament.
That both thou and thy seed may live.
That you may live.
That thou mayest love Yahweh thy Elohim.
Because when you love Yahweh thy Elohim, you're going to believe in one book, and that's the Old Testament. Read.
And that thou mayest obey his voice.
Obey everything that Yahweh say do.
And that thou mayest cleave unto him.
Cleaving to Yahweh.
For he is thy life.
He is the one. Yahweh is your life. He the one woke you up this morning, not nobody else. Read.
And the length of thy days.
He the one got your birthday and your death day. Nobody else. The day you're going to be born, the day you're going to die, Yahweh the only one in the world that know that. Read.
That thou mayest dwell in the land which Yahweh swore unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them.
That's right. You're going back home when you do this. That's right. 31. Deuteronomy 31. Or was that it? No, that wasn't it. 31 and 24.
Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 24. And it came to pass when Moses had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book.
See, Moses wrote the law in a book.
Until they were finished.
Till he finished.
That Moses commanded the Levites, which bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, saying, take this book of the law.
Take this book of the law.
And put it in the sight of the ark of the covenant of Yahweh your Elohim.
And put it in the ark of the covenant of Elohim.
That it may be there for a witness against thee.
Against thee. Read.
For I know thy rebellion.
He said, know his rebellions.
And thy stiff neck.
And we are some stiff-necked, hard-headed people. Can't tell us nothing. Know everything. Can't nobody tell you nothing. You know everything. But you think you know everything. You going straight to hell with gasoline draws on. You don't know nothing. If you ain't talking about Yah. Read.
Behold, while I am yet alive with you this day, ye have been rebellious against Yahweh.
And these people today is rebellious against Yahweh because they trying to tell you about the New Testament, the Quran, the Hadith, and all these other books. Trying to tell you about another book. That's a rebellious man or a woman when they talking about another book. Yahweh ain't never told you to go to no New Testament, no Quran, no Hadith, and all them other books that these religious men wrote. He ain't never told you to listen to them. He said listen to Moses. Read.
And how much more after my death, gather unto me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, that I may speak these words in their ears.
Now watch what they gonna tell them.
And call heaven and earth to record against them.
Against them.
For I know that after my death ye will utterly corrupt.
Moses said, I know after I'm dead, y'all gonna play a game, rebellious, hard-headed, y'all gonna go back to them pork chops and them holidays and worshiping other gods and doing everything that Yahweh hate. That's what they gonna do. Now read, watch this.
For I know that after my death, ye will utterly corrupt yourselves.
Moses said, after that day, you going to start going to church, wearing crosses, and calling on that New Testament, read.
And turn aside from the way which I have commanded you.
And you going to go from right to wrong. I told you what to do. I showed you what to do, but you going to choose some other way. Read.
And evil will befall you in the latter days.
And evil going to be up on you in the latter days for this. For going against the grain, going against Yahweh and Moses. Read.
Because ye will do evil in the sight of Yahweh.
You gonna do evil. You gonna start talking about the New Testament, the Quran, the Hadith, and all these other religious books. You gonna do evil. That's evil when you try to put another book with Yahweh book. Or leave Yahweh book and go to another book. That's evil. Read.
To provoke him to anger through the work of your hands.
The work of your hands. Oh, I think that's all I want. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, that's all I want. Okay, go to Joshua. Joshua 1 and 8.
Joshua chapter 1, verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth.
What? He said, this book of the law should not depart out of your mouth. As we not popcorn every Sabbath about this book. I might talk about other books, but I'm going to show you the lies and the truth in them other books. That's right. This the book. Start over.
This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth.
Don't never forget the law of this book. Joshua said, read.
But thou shalt meditate therein day and night.
Think about the Old Testament day and night. He popping corn right here. Think about this Old Testament day and night. Read.
That thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein.
What? It say to do whatever's in the book. This corn right here. Read.
For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous.
Then you're going to make your way prosperous when you listen to the Old Testament.
And then thou shalt have good success.
You're going to have good success in life. That's right. Almighty going to make it good to you, boy, when you keep this here. The read.
Have not I commanded thee?
That's right.
Be strong and of a good courage.
Be strong and of a good courage, because when you seek this Old Testament, you're going to be strong and of good courage. Ain't nobody going to be able to trick you and brainwash it in. Read.
Be not afraid.
Don't be scared of nobody.
Neither be thou dismayed.
Don't be afraid of nobody.
For Yahweh thy Elohim is with thee whithersoever thou goest.
Wherever you go, Yahweh with you. That's right. When you go to penitentiary or wherever, Yahweh with you. Joseph went to penitentiary and wasn't scared. Yahweh was with him. That's right. That's corn right there. Okay, let's go to Joshua 23. Joshua 23. Joshua 23 and 6.
Joshua chapter 23, verse 6. Be ye therefore very courageous to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses.
Now, what other book got the book of the law of Moses in it? Do the New Testament got it? Do the Quran got it? Do the Hadiths got it? Do the mother religious books got it? No, they don't. So what you need it for? Read.
That ye turn not aside therefrom to the right hand or to the left.
Because when you read these other books, you're going to get brainwashed. You're going to go to the right hand and to the left. You're going to try to put it together with the law, and you can't do it. Read.
That ye come not among these nations, these that remain among you.
That's right.
Neither make mention of the name of their deities.
That's mean I can't say his name, because you can't make a mention of these deities.
Nor cause to swear by them.
Don't swear by this New Testament.
Neither serve them.
Don't serve it.
Nor bow yourselves unto them.
Don't bow yourself into this New Testament. Read.
But cleave unto Yahweh your Elohim.
It's telling you what to do. Cleave to Yahweh.
As ye have done unto this day.
Right.
For Yahweh have driven out from before you great nations and strong.
That's right. He's going to fight for you when you serve Yah.
But as for you, no man have been able to stand before you unto this day.
That's right. When you serve Yah, he ain't going to let nobody do nothing to you.
One man of you shall chase 1,000.
Would it say one man going to chase 1,000?
For Yahweh your Elohim, he it is that fighteth for you. As
Yahweh what for you?
He it is that fighteth for you.
Yahweh fight for you. What verse you at?
10.
Okay.
As he had promised you.
That's a promise. He made a promise that he'll fight for you when you obey the Old Testament. He ain't going to fight for you when you in that New Testament, in that Quran, in that Hadith, and the other religions. But he ain't going to fight for you. He going to turn his back on you. Read.
Take good heed, therefore, unto yourselves, that ye love Yahweh your Elohim.
That's right. You're supposed to love Yahweh the Elohim.
Else, if ye do it anywise, go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go in unto them, and they to you. Know for a certainty that Yahweh your Elohim will no more drive out any of these nations from before you.
In other words, don't go out your race.
But they shall be snares and traps unto you.
Because when you go out the snares and trap, mean when you marry a white woman or a white man, you're going to start serving their God, putting up Christmas trees and celebrate Thanksgiving and stuff that they was born and raised to do. Read.
And scourges in your sides and thorns in your eyes, until ye perish from off this good land which Yahweh your Elohim have given you.
Anytime you marry a Chinese, a Puerto Rico, or a Mexican, or somebody else that's got a different God than you, then you're going to forget Yahweh. You're going to go get humble and start following their God. That's when he didn't want you to integrate or nothing like that. It had nothing to do with no prejudice. It had something to do with because they're going to turn your heart like they did King Solomon. He don't want you going out your way because of you're going to start living the way they do, doing what they do, serving other gods and going to church and putting up Christmas trees and all this old junk. That's the real. It ain't got nothing to do with no prejudice. It's got something to do with your lifestyle going to change. Read.
And behold.
I think, hold on, did it? Hold on. Joshua 2. Okay, keep reading.
And behold, this day I am going the way of all the earth, and ye know in all your hearts and in all your souls, that not one thing hath failed of all the good things which Yahweh your Elohim spake concerning you. All are come to pass unto you, and not one thing hath failed thereof.
That's right. Everything with the truth.
Therefore it shall come to pass, that as all good things that are come upon you, which Yahweh your Elohim promised you, so shall Yahweh bring upon you all evil things.
And why he gonna do this? Because you're gonna stop being, you're gonna stop serving Yahweh and serve somebody else. That's when you're gonna start getting cursed. Read.
Until he have destroyed you from off this good land which Yahweh your Elohim have given you.
That's right.
When ye have transgressed the covenant of Yahweh your Elohim.
There you go. When you stop keeping his covenant and laws and statutes and precept,
which he commanded you,
which he told you to do,
and have gone and served other deities,
and you went to the New Testament and the Quran and Hadith and them other books,
and bowed yourselves to them,
and you bow yourself to them,
then shall the anger of Yahweh be kindled against you.
Then he gonna be angry and mad at you.
And ye shall perish quickly from off the good land which he have given unto you.
That's right. That's when he's gonna give you coronavirus and all the rest of this stuff around here. That's right, because you go against the grain, you're going against the Most High. Okay, that was Joshua 23, 24, and 18.
Joshua chapter 24, verse 18. And Yahweh drave out from before us all the people, even the Amorites, which dwell in the land. Therefore will we also serve Yahweh, for he is our Elohim.
That's right, we're going to serve Yahweh.
And Joshua said unto the people, ye cannot serve Yahweh, for he is a holy Elohim. He is a jealous Elohim. He will not forgive your transgressions nor your sins.
That's the reason why you can't serve him, because you're trying to do two things at once. You're trying to put the New Testament with the Old Testament and all these other books.
And if ye forsake Yahweh and serve strange deities.
Strange deities, because we didn't know nothing about these other gods that we're serving today. They're strange.
Then he will turn and do you hurt.
Almighty gonna hurt you. There it is. When you serve another God, Yahweh gonna hurt you. And what else he gonna do to you?
And consume you.
And he gonna consume you. He gonna destroy you. He gonna hurt you, and he gonna consume you when you go out there with a New Testament and a Quran and Hadith and all these other books. When you do this, you headed for self-destruction. That's all you doing. That's right. Because he said what he gonna do to you. Read that again. The book popping it. What that 20 say?
If you forsake Yahweh.
If you forsake Yahweh, mean turn your back on Yahweh and stop doing what he say do. Read.
And serve strange deities.
And you go out there with a strange God.
Then he will turn and do you hurt.
Then Yahweh gonna do you some hurt. And the coronavirus and everything else he put up on earth, that's hurt. Read.
And consume you.
And destroy you. Consume mean destroy you, kill you.
After that he have done you good.
After what he did for you good. He gave you the Old Testament, but you talking about somebody else. Another book. Boy, that's the reason why your life is in a situation that it is now. Because you're going against Yahweh. Hey, I didn't tell it to you. I showed it to you. Go to 1 Samuel. Ain't no sense you wondering why. Why? It's because you ain't doing what the Old Testament say do. That's why. You trying to listen to everybody but Yah. Listen to your family, your friends, and the people that you grew up with, and your pastors, and all these lying people. And all you got to do is pick up this book and start reading. And stop listening to everybody else. Read the book. 1 Samuel 10. What book? The Old Testament book. Ain't no other book. Well, what book is he talking about? Old Testament book. Ain't no other book. 1 Samuel 10 and 24.
1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 24. And Samuel said to all the people, see him whom Yahweh have chosen.
See, Yahweh choose people. See whom Yahweh had chosen.
That there is none like him among all the people.
Ain't nobody like this man. Tell my Saul back in the day when he was righteous.
And all the people shouted and said, Elohim save the king.
Save the king.
Then Samuel told the people the manner of the kingdom and wrote it in a book.
And wrote it in a what?
And wrote it in a book.
Wrote it in a book.
And laid it up before Yahweh. And Samuel sent all the people away, every man to his house. And Saul also.
Okay, that's all I need. Yeah. Okay. Nehemiah 8. Nehemiah 8. Nehemiah 8 and 1. Let's see. Get it. Nehemiah 8 and let's see. Yeah, Nehemiah 8 and 1.
Nehemiah chapter 8, verse 1. And all the people gathered themselves together as one man into the street that was before the water gate. And they spake unto Ezra the scribe to bring the book of the law of Moses, which Yahweh had commanded to Israel.
That's right. The book of Yahweh commanded to Israel. That's right. Okay, go to skip on down to 3. I'm gonna skip around in this chapter.
Verse 3. And he read therein before the street that was before the water gate from the morning until midday, before the men and the women, and those that could understand. And the ears of all the people were attentive unto the book of the law.
Book of the law, which is the Old Testament only. Okay, 5. Skip on down to 5.
Verse 5. And Ezra opened the book in the sight of all the people.
And that's what I'm doing, opening the book in sight of all the people.
For he was above all the people. And when
I'm not saying that, though. I ain't above nobody now. I ain't saying that. I don't want that credit. I ain't a put in the wind. Read.
And when he opened it, all the people stood up.
And when he opened his book, all the people stood up. Okay, I want to skip around. 8. Hit the 8 verse.
Verse 8. So they read in the book in the law of Elohim distinctively, and gave the sense, and caused them to understand the reading.
And called them to understand the reading of this book. 18. Skip on down to 18.
Verse 18. Also day by day.
Day by day, not night, not night. Say day by day.
From the first day until the last day.
First day to the last day.
He read in the book of the law of Elohim.
He read in the book.
And they kept the feast 7 days, and on the 8th day was a solemn assembly according unto the manner.
That's right. Everything was written in the book. Okay, let me go to Psalm 40. I'm trying to tell y'all that you don't need no another book. Everything is in the Old Testament. Things that have been and the things that shall be. Meaning stuff that already been done and stuff that ain't been done. The Old Testament ain't been fulfilled and prophesied. It's still stuff that ain't happened in the Old Testament. It's stuff to this day, it had not happened in the Old Testament. Okay, Psalm 40 and 5.
Psalm chapter 40, verse 5.
Just corn right here.
Many, O Yahweh, my Elohim, are thy wonderful works which thou hast done.
Now, King David is bragging on Yahweh.
And thy thoughts which are to us word, they cannot be reckoned up in order unto thee. If I would declare it and speak of them, they are more than can be numbered.
That's right.
Sacrifice and offering thou didst not desire.
The book says sacrifice and offering what I did. They always talking about the sacrifice and all that junk. Ain't nobody studying that. Read.
My ears hast thou opened. Burnt offering and sin offering hast thou not required.
Yahweh ain't never required us no sacrifice and no offering and all that junk that they want to talk about. Oh, y'all supposed to be sacrificing calves and goats, and you a lie. The book said we ain't supposed to do nothing. Read.
Then said I, lo, I come, and the volume of the book it is written of me.
Yahweh say he come in the volume of the book. Ain't no other book talking like what he say? Yahweh say I come in the volume of the book. I'm all over the Old Testament. I ain't never found in the Quran and the Hadith in the New Testament, but I'm all over in the volume of the book. They trying to say this Hamashiach, that's a lie. This Yah. I think that's all I wanted. Let me see. What I want, 40. Let's see. Y'all go and read.
I delight to do thy will, O my Elohim.
That's right. David gonna do his will.
Yea, thy law is within my heart.
It's within David's heart.
I have preached righteousness in the great congregation.
That's right. Popping corn.
Lo, I have not refrained my lips, O Yahweh, thou knowest.
That's right.
I have not hid thy righteousness within my heart. I have declared thy faithfulness and thy salvation. I have not concealed thy loving kindness and thy truth from the great congregation.
That's right. I have told the truth. All through the book, he told the truth. Psalm 69. Psalm 69 and 28. Okay, yeah, 69 and 28.
Psalms chapter 69, verse 28. Let them be blotted out of the book of the living.
Yahweh got a book of the living. That's right. He said, let me be blotted out of the book. That means took out of the book.
And not be written with the righteous.
And let me not be written with the righteous. In other words, I'm letting you know that Yahweh got a book. The book of the living. Called the book of the living. That's right. Okay, go to Isaiah. Isaiah 29. Let me get it. 29:11.
Isaiah chapter 29, verse 11. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot.
I can't read this.
For it is sealed.
It is sealed.
And the book is delivered to him that is not learned.
Does not learn.
Saying,
read this.
Read this, I pray thee. And he said, I am not learned.
And when I get through read, I still ain't learned and don't understand.
Wherefore Yahweh said, for as much as this people draw near with their mouth.
They talk about Yahweh with their mouth like they love Yah. Watch this.
And with their lips do honor me.
You only honor Yahweh with your lips. That's all you do is talk about him and honor him with your lips. Watch this, read.
But have removed their heart far from me.
Your heart ain't on Yahweh. Your heart on something else. That's right. Because if your heart on Yahweh, you don't need no other book. You don't need no other book when your heart on Yahweh.
And
let me see. That's what I wanted. Let me make sure. I don't want to miss nothing. Okay, that's keep reading, I think.
And their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men.
Your fear has been precept of men. Somebody else taught you.
Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish.
The wisdom of these wise men shall perish because they wise in another book. They real smart and crafty in another book. When they come into the Old Testament, they dumb as a box of rocks. Read.
And the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid.
Shall be hid. Read.
Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh.
Think you getting away with something.
And their works are in the dark.
Everything that you do is slick in the dark.
And they say,
and the people say,
who seeth us?
Yahweh see you.
And who knoweth us?
Yahweh know you.
Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's all I want. Yeah, that's all. Let me see. Okay, read that 18.
Verse 18. And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book.
It say in that day, the deaf that can't hear gonna hear the words of the book. Read.
And the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness.
That's right. The blind gonna be able to see, and the deaf gonna be able to hear in that day. Okay, that's 30. Let me see. Isaiah 30 and 8.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 8. Now go, write it before them in a table, and know it in a book.
Now write this in the book and in the table,
that it may be for the time to come forever and ever.
Forever and ever. Watch this.
That this is a rebellious people.
This what you write in the book of rebellious people, hard-headed, want to listen to the New Testament, Peter, Paul, and look at John, all the clowns. Read.
Lying children.
They lie. Because when you talk about the Old Testament and go with the New Testament, when the Quran go with when you got to have all these other books, you lying. That was it's saying.
Children that will not hear the law of Yahweh.
You ain't going to listen to the law. The law didn't never tell you to get no other book. The law didn't tell you to go to the New Testament. The law didn't tell you to go to the Quran. The law ain't never told you none of that. The law is the 5 first books of the Old Testament. Read.
Which say to the seers,
What say to the leaders?
see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things.
Don't tell us the truth. That's what the people want. They want to go to the New Testament because they love to be lied to. They want to go to the Quran and the Hadith because they want to be lied to. That's when they choose these other books, because they want to be lied to. They don't want to accept the whole truth and nothing but the truth, which is the Old Testament. They don't want that. They want to try to put the lie with the truth, and you can't do it. Them other books is the lie, and the Old Testament is the truth. And when you put another book with it, you lie. Read.
Speak unto us smooth things.
Tell us something easy. All we got to do is go to church and be baptized and get a man all your money, and you think you're going to heaven. All you got to do is wear a long dress and put on that perfume and look good and smell good with them lipstick on and go to church with your legs open in front of the preacher, and you think you're going to heaven. You think you're going somewhere when you dress up and go to church. He ain't judging no clothes, and Yahweh ain't studying none of that. First of all, the church is a whole house. The Almighty now, he don't dwell in no church house. But I ain't gonna even talk about that today. I'm talking about the book. Okay, that's all of it. No, read.
Prophesy deceits.
Tell us a lie. That's what the people want to hear today. All they want to do is hear a lie. They don't want no parts of the truth. If they want the part of the truth, they wouldn't be talking about no other book. If you wanted the truth, you wouldn't be telling me about no other book. What John said this, what Peter, Paul said this, Luke, those people ain't nothing. Don't tell me about it. Tell me what Moses said, Jeremiah said, Yahweh said. That's what you tell me. Don't tell me about nobody else that Yahweh don't know nothing about. Okay, is that 30 and 16? Yeah, okay, y'all read it. No, let me see. Did I read 30 and 16?
No.
Okay, yeah, 30 and 16 then. Skip on that.
Verse 16. But ye said, no, for...
No, let me see. No, that, I don't think I want. Let me see. 30 and, let me see. Is it 30 and 16? Let's see. No, that ain't what I want. I ain't gonna worry about it. Okay. Jeremiah 25. Yeah, put Jeremiah 25. I think I'm on Jeremiah 25 and 13.
Jeremiah chapter 25, verse 13. And I will bring upon that land all my words which I have pronounced against it, even all that is written in this book, which Jeremiah have prophesied against all the nations.
That's right, written in this book. Ain't no other book. Ain't no other book but this book, Jeremiah 30 and 2. He ain't got but one book. So what you talking about another book for? You know more than Yahweh. If you talking about another book, that means you smarter than Yahweh. When he only told you this book. Okay, 30 and 2. Read.
Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 2. Thus speaketh Yahweh Elohim of Israel, saying, write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book.
Now Yahweh told Jeremiah to write all the words in a book. Now what book you think he was talking about? You think he was talking about the New Testament? The Quran, the Hadith, and all the other religious books? No, he was talking about the Old Testament only. Read that again.
Thus speaketh Yahweh Elohim of Israel.
Yahweh speaking.
Saying, write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book.
Write all these words in the Old Testament what I say in a book. And that's what he did. Wrote it in a book. Jeremiah 36. What book you think he talking about? Ain't but one book. 36 and 2.
Jeremiah chapter 36, verse 2. Take thee a roll of a book.
See, the Old Testament was written on a roll. First of all, it was on a scroll. It's called a book today, but it was a roll, with that roll of a book. It still was a book, but it was a scroll back then called a roll. Read.
And write therein all the words that I have spoken unto thee against Israel.
That's right, right.
And against Judah, and against all the nations.
That's right. Okay, Rick, skip on down to 8. The 8th verse.
Verse 8. And Baruch the son of Neriah did according to all that Jeremiah the prophet commanded him, reading in the book the words of Yahweh in Yahweh's house.
In Yahweh's house, because he ain't got no house in the United States. No, his house is in Jerusalem. Never, there ain't nowhere else. His house is in Jerusalem, not United States, nowhere. Skip on down to 10.
Verse 10. Then read Baruch in the book the words of Jeremiah in the house of Yahweh, in the chamber of Gemariah, the son of Shaphan, the scribe, in the higher court, at the entry of the new gate of Yahweh's house, in the ears of all the people, when Micaiah, the son of Gemariah, the son of Shaphan, had heard out of the book all the words of Yahweh.
All the word, the book of Yahweh. In other words, that's right. Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51. Let me see. And 60.
Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 60. So Jeremiah wrote in a book all the evil that should come upon Babylon, even all these words that are written against Babylon. And Jeremiah said to Seraiah, when thou comest to Babylon, and shall see, and shall read all these words, then shalt thou say.
Now, where you going to read all these words? In the book. That's right. That's all I think. Let me see. No, keep reading.
O Yahweh, thou hast spoken against this place to cut it off, that none shall remain in it, neither man nor beast, but that it shall be desolate forever. And it shall be, when thou hast made an end of reading this book, that thou shalt bind a stone to it and cast it into the midst of Euphrates.
Yeah, okay, read the end of this book. That's all I'm talking about. Okay, go to Daniel 12. Daniel 12 and 1.
Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up.
That's an angel.
The great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation. Hold on. Such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time.
This ain't happened yet. This is a future event. Meaning the Old Testament ain't complete. It ain't been the stuff that ain't happened yet. It's still prophecy in the Old Testament. Okay, it said, okay, read.
And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book.
Everybody that's found written in Yahweh's book gonna be delivered. Meaning this ain't happened yet. This is a future event. Meaning the Old Testament, everything in it has not been fulfilled yet. Read.
And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. Some
the dead folks, your grandparents or whoever dead gonna wake up. Watch this. When they die, they gonna wake up.
Some to everlasting life.
Some to everlasting life, going to Jerusalem, which is the Holy Land.
And some to shame and everlasting contempt.
And they gonna be shame and everlasting contempt, meaning you going to hell.
And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book.
And seal the book.
Even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
Knowledge is increasing now. 2020, what, 2? And boy, back in the early 80s, in the early 70s and 80s, did nobody know nothing about Yahweh. It's a very, very few people that knew about Yahweh in the 60s and 70s and 80s. Very few. But knowledge have increased all around the world, boy. They talking about Yah. That's right. People waking up. They was asleep, and they waking up. Read that again.
But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
And knowledge have increased.
Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on that side of the bank of the river.
Okay, go to Malachi, last book in the Old Testament. That's all you need is the last book from front. This is the last book of the Old Testament, which is Malachi, and you don't need to go no further. You're supposed to stop right here. Stop and live at Malachi. Don't go to don't read nothing else. Malachi 3:16.
Malachi chapter 3, verse 16. Then they that feared Yahweh spake often one to another, and Yahweh hearkened and heard it. And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared Yahweh.
What?
And that thought upon his name.
That's right. Hold on, read that again. Then they that feared Yahweh spake one to another. Just like I'm speaking one to another with my Hebrew brothers, the Torah-based brothers. Watch this. One to another. Read.
And Yahweh hearkened.
Yahweh listening? You think Yahweh ain't listening to us today? He listening? Read.
And heard it.
Yahweh heard it.
And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared Yahweh.
All the ones that fear Yahweh, you going to be in the book of remembrance. The ones that love Yah and keep his laws and statutes and commandments, you going to be in the book of remembrance.
And that thought upon his name.
And thought upon Yahweh's name, not nobody else's name, because you can't put nobody with Yahweh.
And they shall be mine, saith Yahweh of hosts.
We going to be Yahweh's the ones to do it like that. He said, you going to be mine.
And that day when I make up my jewels.
And that day when he make up his jewels.
And I will spare them.
He going to spare them.
As a man spareth his own son that serveth him.
As a man spares his own child. He going to do the same thing. Yahweh permanent. Read.
Then shall ye return.
What do you think you're going to return to? New York? Chicago and St. Louis? No. You're going to return to the Holy Land.
And discern between the righteous and the wicked.
Discern between the righteous and the wicked. Because the righteous love Yah and the wicked love the New Testament. The wicked love the Quran. The wicked love other books. That's right. The wicked love other books. They don't love Yah. Read.
Between him that serveth Elohim and him that serveth him not.
To the one that serve Elohim and the ones that don't do it. Right. That's corn right there. Well, I popped it today. I let you know what the book say. I didn't tell it to you. I showed it to you. Now, do anybody out there have any comment or question about another book that you don't really need? And I just showed you that you don't need no another book. Now, you prove to me that you need another book from this book, and I'll send you $500. Prove to me that you need another book other than the Old Testament, and if you prove it, I'm going to send you $500. You can get paid, not delayed. Now I'm ready to start answering questions. Let me see what they're talking about. Yeah, I know about the book of Child, but I ain't never read them book. Yeah. First of all, they got to get past the King James version. They don't even know this book, let alone another book. They can't tell me about this book. They ain't got this book down pat. Yeah, I know about them other books. Yeah, I got them, but I ain't read them yet. I'm gonna be honest with you, because they ain't got this book here down pat. Because if they had this book down pat, they wouldn't need the New Testament and the Quran. That let me know they don't know nothing about this book. First of all, you got to get this down packed first before you go to another book. Go to Jeremiah 6:16. Read it. I ain't going to go to it. That's right. They ain't even ready for this book.
Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16.
Now watch this, Jeremiah chapter 6 and 16.
Thus saith Yahweh.
Yahweh talking. He don't talk in no other book. Read.
Stand ye in the way.
Say, stand ye in the way.
And see.
And see.
And as for the old paths.
It didn't say ask for no other book. It say the old path. Read.
Where is the good way?
That's the only good way is the old path in the Old Testament. Good way, baby. Read.
And walk therein.
Walk with it. Do what it say do. Walk means say do. That's what it means. Walk there means say do what it say do. Read.
And ye shall find rest for your souls.
Then you're going to find rest for your souls.
But they said.
But the people in the world say today.
We will not walk therein.
We ain't going to go to the Old Testament. We ain't going to listen to Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Moses, and Isaiah. We ain't going to do it. We're going to go over there to them hillbillies and listen to Paul, Peter, Luke, and John. Read.
Also I said watchmen over you.
He said watchmen over us.
Saying.
Hearken
to the sound of the trumpet.
Hearken to this Old Testament. Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Moses.
But they said.
But the people say.
We will not hearken.
We ain't going to do it. We ain't going to do it. Read.
Therefore hear ye nations.
Therefore hear you nations with the S on the end talking about the whole world. Read.
And know.
O
congregation. What is among them?
What's among you?
Here.
O
earth.
Talking about the whole earth. Now watch what he say about the whole earth. Read.
Behold.
I
will bring evil upon this people.
He gonna bring what?
I will bring evil upon this people.
He gonna bring evil up on these people that don't listen to Moses, Abraham, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel in the Old Testament. Read.
Even the fruit of their thoughts.
Your thinking gonna be messed up. Read.
Because they have not hearkened unto my words.
Where's his words at? Only in the Old Testament. Because you have not hearkened to Yahweh's words, and his words is only found in the Old Testament. Read.
Nor to my law.
You ain't listened to the law. You talking about you ain't got to keep the law no more. He done away with the law. We under new sensation now. We under truth and grace now. We under everything but the law. Boy, you lying dogs. Read.
But rejected it.
But you rejected. And so Yahweh gonna reject you.
To
no, that's all I need. Hey, now I need to see Jody Smith. Hey, Jody Smith, if you on there, that's my white partner. Good dude, but brainwashed. Jody Smith, if you on the air, I got something for you today. I got a treat for only Jody Smith. Is you out there, Jody Smith? Cause boy, you made a comment, and I'm finna barbecue you today. When I get done with you, you're gonna be ready. I can't do no put some A1 sauce on you. That's right. Some Babe Ruth sauce. What's the barbecue sauce called? Whatever it's called. You're gonna be well done. I want to see Jody Smith. That's my good white friend. And boy, I got a surprise for him today. I'm going to say it one more time. If Jody Smith is on the air, let me know. Because he made a comment the other Sabbath about something, and I'm finna correct you today. Now, don't be scared, Jody, now. Don't be frightened now, man. I'm going to barbecue you, though. I ain't going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to barbecue you. Yes, sir. I'm not going to play with you, even though you're my friend, but I'm going to barbecue you today if you're on the air. Oh, hey, Jody Smith, they say you quiet as the church mouth. But see, one thing about it, Jody, if you can't prove it, you gotta shut up. You gotta shut up, man. Only people can be talking is the one that can prove it. If you can't prove no, I'm talking about everybody now. Anybody out there on the air, if you can't prove it, you need to shut up. Because the book say prove all things. That's right. Because if you can't prove it, shut up. I ain't gonna never shut up because I'm gonna be able to prove it. That's me, man. Only way I'm gonna shut up, I'm gonna be in the cemetery, be in the graveyard. Then I'm gonna shut up. The only thing gonna shut me up is the cemetery. Graveyard only. Come on now, Jody Smith, man. Now, come on now. I'm finna give it to you today. But but I'm gonna go and tell the audience though. Jody Smith said that you can't keep the law in America or in the United States. But JC did it for me. Say JC kept the laws for me. He already did it for me. So, but I'm gonna give you a few more minutes, and then I'm gonna go to the book and let's see what the book say. Hey, let me ask a question because they might not want to know. Do anybody out there want to know the answer to the question about what Jody Smith said? I'm asking my audience, do anybody want to know? Y'all want to read that or just don't worry about it? Because it don't make me no difference. Y'all want to read it or don't worry about it? Because it don't make... Roscoe here say, read it. I'm sure gonna read it. I'm sure gonna read it, man. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear him read it, man. But I got to go to the New Testament to read it. So if y'all hate the New Testament, y'all ain't gonna... Because a lot of my Hebrew brothers, Torah, they hate the New Testament. So, but I had to go in there a lot of times and prove out the facts. Yeah, I got to... Okay. Well, y'all go to Luke. Okay, go to Luke. A book called Saint Luke, but it ain't no saint. It's just Luke. He wasn't no saint, but all the saints serve Yahweh. Go to Luke 6. Go to Luke 6. I'm going to let everybody get it. Let me show you what this clown did. Luke 6. Okay, Luke chapter 6, verse 6.
Luke chapter 6, verse 6. And it came to pass also on another Sabbath.
Hold it, pay real attention. It say it came to pass on another Sabbath. So that means this didn't happen before. It's because it's another Sabbath. Pay attention now. Another Sabbath. Read.
That he entered into the synagogue and taught.
Talking about JC. He entered into the synagogues and taught on the Sabbath day. This talking about JC now. Read.
And there was a man whose right hand was withered.
There was a man's hand that was messed up, withered.
And the scribes and the Pharisees watched him.
The scribes and the Pharisees watched him. Why? Because they wanted to see was he going to break the Sabbath. That's when they was watching because he done broke it before. Now they want to see if he going to break it again. Read.
Whether he would heal on the Sabbath day.
Whether JC would heal this man on the Sabbath day with the withered hand. Read.
That they might find an accusation against him.
And he going to be in violation if he heal this man on the Sabbath day, which they right. Read.
But he knew their thoughts and said to the man which had the withered hand, rise up and stand forth in the midst.
He told the man to rise up and stand forth in the midst of the mist.
And he arose and stood forth.
The man rose and stood forth just like he asked him.
Then said JC unto them.
Watch this.
I will ask you one thing.
I will ask only one thing.
Is it lawful on the Sabbath days to do good or to do evil?
Hey, fool, it ain't good to do no work on the Sabbath day. Anybody with common sense and Bible and biblical scholar and know what's going on, we know that it's a sin and a transgression to break the law, to break the Shabbat. Now watch this fool. Read.
To save life or to destroy it.
You ain't supposed to do nothing with all these excuses that you got, clown. Read.
And looking round about upon them all,
JC looking around the crowd above them all,
he said unto the man.
Then he said to this man, the hand was messed up.
Stretch forth thy hand.
Stretch forth the hand is messed up.
And he did so.
And the man did so.
And his hand was restored whole as the other.
In other words, he healed the man on the Sabbath day. He went back, he done that. So don't tell me that JC kept the law for me. That's a lie. Now go to Luke 13. JC ain't kept no law. He never kept the Sabbath day or no other law that Yahweh say keep. That man don't know nothing about no law. Luke 13. Tell me this man ain't a poot in the wind, ain't a fart in the windstorm. Luke 13 and 10.
Luke chapter 13, verse 10. And he was teaching in one of the synagogues on the Sabbath.
JC was teaching in one of the synagogues on another day, another Sabbath.
And behold, there was a woman which had a spirit of infirmity 18 years.
Now, this is a different Sabbath day, and this is a woman this time. First it was a man, now it's a woman. Read.
And was bowed together.
Hold on. Which had infirmity 18 years. This woman was sick for 18 years. Read.
And was bowed together and could in no wise lift up herself.
In other words, she was sick and couldn't help herself.
And when JC saw her,
and when JC saw this woman on the Sabbath day sick,
he called her to him.
He called her, said, "Come here, Jezebel," whoever she was,
and said unto her, "Woman, thou art loose from thy infirmity."
You loose, you free.
And he laid his hands on her.
He touched this woman on the Sabbath day.
And immediately she was made straight.
And immediately she was healed.
And glorified God.
And glorified, boy, listen, read.
And the ruler of the synagogue answered with indignation.
This man that run the synagogue was angry, because indignation means angry.
Because that JC had healed on the Sabbath day.
Because this man played the game on the Sabbath day. They supposed to be mad at his tail. Read.
And said unto the people.
And he said it to the people. Watch this corn, he gonna pop. Read.
There are 6 days in which men ought to work.
In 6 days, you're supposed to heal that man's arm and that woman with that disease or whatever she had. Read.
And them therefore come and be healed. And
he give you 6 days to heal them. Read.
And not on the Sabbath day.
And not on the Sabbath day. That's corn right there.
The Lord then answered him and said, Thou hypocrite, doeth not each one of you on the Sabbath loose his ox?
Now he telling the man that JC said the man is a hypocrite because he barbecued him and roasted. Read.
Doeth not each one of you on the Sabbath loose his ox or his ass from the stall and lead him away to watering? And ought not this woman, being a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan hath bound, lo, these 18 years, be loosed from this bond on the Sabbath day?
I don't care what she was or who she was, if it was Abraham, mama, whoever she was, ain't nobody got no business to do with nothing on Sabbath. Talking about all this Abraham, woo, all these script. Read.
And when he had said these things, all his adversaries were ashamed, and all the people rejoiced for all the glorious things that were done by him.
See, these people got their trust in JC. They went on with the man that on JC. He's JC. He can heal on the Sabbath day. Almighty ain't gonna be mad at him. He cool. No, man, these people hypocrite. You the hypocrite. Okay, go to Luke 14 and 1. Then I'm gonna get on up out of here. But this is for Jody Smith though. This is a whole new subject. This ain't got nothing to do with what I talked about earlier. This is for Jody Smith. Read the first verse.
Luke chapter 14, verse 1. And it came to pass, as he went into the house of one of the chief Pharisees to eat bread on the Sabbath day, that they watched him.
Why they watch him? Because he started breaking the Sabbath day. That's when they watch him. Read.
And behold, there was a certain man before him which had the
Dropsy.
Dropsy.
This man got the dropsy. So he done violated the Sabbath 3 times. Dropsy, read. Meaning he ain't gonna change. The fool ain't gonna change. The fool don't love Yahweh. This ain't God's son. It's his only begotten son. You a lie. Show it to me in the Old Testament. This JC is his only begotten son. You but only begotten lie. Read.
And JC answering spake unto the lawyers and Pharisees.
Now this what he tell them.
Saying, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day?
H-E-L-L. No, it ain't lawful to heal on no Sabbath day, fool. Read.
And they held their peace.
Why come I didn't have my peace? If I was there, I would have stood up and said, man, you in violation. Almighty gonna kill you. Read.
And he took him and healed him and let him go.
And he healed this man on the Sabbath day and let him go. He wasn't studying on the law. He wasn't studying the law.
And answered them, saying, which of you shall have an ass or an ox fall into a pit?
He said, which one y'all found a donkey, an ass, or a dog, anything to fall into a pit? Watch this on the Sabbath day. That's what he's talking about.
And will not straightway pull him out on the Sabbath day.
Me? I ain't studying it. He'll be out there in the ox till the sun go down or dead when I get out there. I ain't studying it. Read. I'm the one ain't gonna go get him. So if you ask me this question, I ain't going to get him, JC. Read.
And they could not answer him again to these
man,
things.
These people clown. They can't answer this man, and I'm answering him today. I ain't even there. They can't answer, but I can. You gonna go out there and get your dog if he hanging from the tree, jumped and got hung on the Sabbath day, he gonna be dead when I get out there because I ain't thinking about it.
And he put forth a parable to those which were bidden.
Man, I ain't thinking about this book no more. Let me get on up out of here. Hey man, all I'm gonna tell y'all, if you love Yahweh with all your heart, mind, and soul, you ain't gonna break his Sabbath day, man. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Now, if you do break his Sabbath day, you don't love him. You just love him with your mouth, with your lips. It already testified against you. Lips, mouth. I love Yah. I love Yah. Man, you playing games. You playing games. Yeah. You can't straddle the fence. You can't be wishy-washy, hot and cold, up and down. Man, you got to be 100. The way you're going to be 100, you got to serve with the old book. Ain't no another book. So when they bring it to you, tell them that Yahuwah saying but one book. Now, don't tell them what I say. Tell them Yahweh said ain't but one book. Correct me when I'm wrong. Don't give me no glorification and no credit because I ain't nobody. Yahweh saying number one book. I'm just repeating what the book say. That's right. So that'll get it. JC ain't kept no law for me. He ain't died for me or none of that. Can't no man die for no other man's sin. Oh, he died for the sins of the world. He died for everybody. That's a lie. You can't do that. Not according to the Old Testament. You can't do that. Ain't nobody dying for nobody. Everybody gonna die for their own sin. Can't nobody save nobody. I can't save nobody. Can't nobody save me. And y'all can't save nobody. And can't nobody save y'all. Every man for themselves on Judgment Day. That's right. Well, I was listening to him. Okay. That's when you're going to hell for listening to him. One thing about me, if I can't prove it, I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna get up here and say it if I can't prove it. When you tell a lie on this book, I'm the one that expose you. I'm the one that's gonna expose you when you tell a lie on this book. JC said this. JC said that. He did. Man, you lied. Prove it. Show it to me. They get mad at me, boy, when I say that. Show it to me. Don't tell me nothing. That's right, brother. Pump the plant. Actually do speak loud and word. That's right. What a man say out of his mouth don't mean nothing. You look at what he do, not what he say. He talking loud and ain't saying nothing. His actions speak louder than words, and that's a true statement. I don't care who mouth is coming out of. He talking straight, but he walking crooked. He talking straight, but he walking crooked. Like the book say, with their mouth they love Yah, but their heart is far away from them. They hard on everybody but Yah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in other words, my message today was you don't need no other book, man. Don't let them tell you about no other book. Get this book down packed, then read them other books. Don't read the other books first and then read this book. No, you're gonna be tore up in the head. You have to get this Old Testament down packed. I'm not saying don't read no other books. I'm saying this is the main book, the only book that you should read first. Then read the New Testament, the Quran and Hadith and all them other books. But make sure you got this book here down packed first. Because if you don't, you're going to be brainwashed, bamboozled, and hoodwinked if you read another book. Because you're going to be confused. Well, it say this over here. It say this over there. It say this over here. Read this book. Find out what the Old Testament say first. Then you ain't gonna have no problem. You ain't gonna have no problem reading another book, man. That's right. And you're right, brother. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, he suffered, but didn't die. Like you say, yeah. Suffer and die is two different situations. Yeah. Can no man die for you? Maybe suffer. We suffering right now from our forefathers, what they did. We suffer because we over here in the United States. We suffer, but we ain't dying for them. No, sir. No, sir. We ain't dying for nobody. That's right, brother. Pumpers plant. Yeah. But the New Testament say they died. That's when I said New Testament say he died. Mm-hmm. So I guess Jordan Smith, man, you must not either be on the earth, man. I know you ain't scared to comment now. Well, anytime anybody out there make a statement and I find out about it or read about it and it's a lie, I'm gonna expose you. I don't care who it is. Family, friend, foes, it don't matter. When I pick up this book, I ain't got no friends. When I put it down, then I become your friend. But when I pick it up, I ain't got no friend. When I put it down, then I become your friend. Yeah. So that means I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I ain't gonna, cause you my favorite cousin, or you my daddy, or my mama, or my sister, but man, I ain't studying none of that. If you lie on this book, I'm gonna be here to expose you. That's right. Cause Yahweh servants ain't scared of nobody. And ain't gonna go against Yahweh for nobody. Yahweh servants ain't gonna go against him for nobody. He don't care who they is. Yeah, it's talking about the Joshua in the Old Testament. After Moses took over, Joshua took over. So that's where they gave the name from him. Yeah. It ain't got nothing to do with no New Testament at all. Joshua died at 110. JC died at 33. So JC mama name was Mary, and Joshua in the Old Testament had his mom, daddy was son of Nun. That's what his daddy name was, son of Nun. So Them two different people. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Yeah. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But I got so many videos out there on JC. If y'all ain't never seen him, boy, y'all need to watch him. Because I burned him up. I barbecued him. Only about JC. I don't know how many I got about him, but I talked about him, boy. I got a whole bunch of videos on JC. Cause I don't hold him up. I don't have no mercy on him. Cause I know the world love him and I ain't studying. Even our people that call themselves Hebrew Israelite, they love him. That man just broke the Sabbath day. I just showed y'all he broke the Sabbath day. And now what's good about it? What's good about JC? Not nothing. When he broke that Sabbath day, back if he was back then, he'd have been dead. That's right here. Almighty ain't gonna play with you. Shit. Yeah, all we need is one book, brothers and sisters. Don't never forget that. All we need is one book, and that's the Old Testament. That's right. They don't need nothing else. Everything is in it. Then once you get that book understood and really research it and get a real good understanding, then you can read the New Testament and all the rest of them books. But don't read them books first and then go, no, you can't, no, don't do that. No. Then you're gonna be confused. It's all right to read about your history and all that, but I'm not studying no book but the Old Testament. I ain't studying no other book. Y'all can read them. Y'all cool. Hey, I'm gonna stay with this Old Testament. That's what I'm gonna stay with. I'm not knocking nobody out there for reading other books, but y'all keep reading them other books. I'm gonna keep reading Old Testament. That's what I'm gonna do. Now, if I have a question about them other books or want to know something, then I ask. Yeah, but other than that, I'm gonna stay with this Old Testament. I know this the right book. This the right way. It don't make no sense. But it makes sense to a lot of brainwashed, bamboos, and hoodwink people. It makes sense to them. That's right. That brother right. Rasta here. It don't make sense. But it makes sense to people that slow up here. Ain't got ain't got no wisdom and not understanding about Yah. If you had understanding wisdom about Yah, it's hey, you gonna know something wrong with that book. All them people that believe in the New Testament and them other books, they've been brainwashed, bamboozled, and hoodwinked. And the Almighty got their eyes closed too. That's another thing. He got the eyes shut where they can't understand. So it's a purpose of that. It's a purpose why they don't understand. Because the Almighty shut their eyes, got their eyes closed. Because the Almighty got their remnant. He looking for that remnant. That remnant to go understand. When you love Yah with all your heart and all your might and all your soul, you ain't gonna be talking about no other book. That's how you know you part of that remnant. Cause the remnant only gonna be talking about Yah in the Old Testament. He ain't gonna be talking about nothing else. Cause you're a worldly man and a worldly woman to believe any other kind of way. You are the world. You just like everybody else. 90% of the people in this world hate Yah. 90% of y'all hate Yah. You can say you love them all you want, but you hate them. I'm telling you, hate them. Yep. There you go, bro. Yeah, that's the ending, brother. Yeah, brother. You popping. Yeah. But hey, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna get ready to get off of here, man. Since my partner Jody Smith didn't respond today, but maybe he'll get a chance to watch the video and comment on that. But like I said, when that person lie on this book, I'm the one to expose you. Right. So be careful what you say out your mouth when it comes to this book, because I ain't gonna play with you. I'm gonna break it off in you. That's right. So I'm gonna give up without saying that or further. I'm gonna give all honor, glory, and worship to Yahweh by saying hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. And I'll see y'all next week. If it's Yahweh's will, I'll still be living at 12 o'clock next Saturday. If I still be living, because ain't nothing promised to you but death. Shalom.